Tom.
And we're at BIMTV, Velocities and Music. Sorry, we just had a great laugh here at BIMTV.
Woo!
Today we're going to review the new Battles album entitled Gloss Drop. Tom, take it away.
Well, Battles, if you haven't heard of them, they're kind of a math rock supergroup, lots of experimental stuff. They came out with their first album, Mirrored, in I believe 2007, and it hit hard. Everyone loved it. If you're into that sound, you know, that complicated experimental math rock sound, very prog, lots of effects on the vocals, some tracks not even having vocals, I mean, just jamming out, then you'd love it. I mean, there's no way not to. And I think one thing that helps is this band, since then, well, also through their EPs that they've come out with some cool EPs that just have really long tracks, once again, very experimental, and the production is just so sharp. It's so crisp. And what's great is they have everything I love about rock music, where you can have real instrumentals, a real drummer. What do you know? Someone actually playing the drums for real. And it sounds good because they produce it well.
And they incorporate electronic
They do, and yet it works. You got some keyboard, got some synth stuff, but mostly just crazy guitars, very precise technical drumming, and it's just a very good sound. Now, for Gloss Drop, as compared to Mirrors, I would say Gloss Drop is a lot more fun. Mirrored was, I mean, it's not like it was a downer of an album, but it was a little darker than this. This sounds a little brighter, a little shinier even. But overall, I mean, it just makes sense for a second Battles release, I would say. It's the logical next step for these guys. They incorporate a lot of good guest artists singing for them. And
only on select tracks.
Yeah, only on maybe 4 or 5 tracks. But it just works. It's a very fun album to listen to.
And one thing that I really liked about it, you know, you have all these really high energy songs, but it's not the traditional, a lot of electronica albums, and you know, you see songs that, you know, they do the builder strategy where it's like, here's you know, here's a beat or a rhythm, and then here's another instrument, all of a sudden it's just this huge release, and then it goes back down. Great, you know, that's what Fortet did, but I know that's a little different of a style, but that's a lot, it's very present, it's a very common musical theme out there. These guys are all over the place, hence the math rock, you know, they're switching song structures left and right, and that makes them highly original, which I think is one of the most valuable and in my opinion, sought-after traits in new successful artists. The artists that define new music are the ones who are the most original, and that just kind of makes sense. But for some reason, only a few people out there really care about originality in their music, and that the rest of them just listen to the radio. And I'm assuming, since you're watching the show, you're one of those people who values originality, so thank you. Now, overall, I really felt that the songwriting was quite strong. However, my main criticism of this album, because I agree with a lot of the positive things that you said about it, Tom, so not to restate them, but the main thing that I kind of disliked about this album is that a lot of the tracks do accomplish the same thing. They serve the same function. As in, you know, they're doing this really cool ideas, really cool sounds, you know, whether it's, you know, to me, I really got a Man vibe in this, not in total sound and, you know, the vocals and everything, but just in structure, how they're changing everything, and they like to make these crazy little spastic, fast-paced instrumental parts on top of things, and then it'll transition to a little bit slower, more groovy part, and then go back, and that I really like that, but I can't handle 12 tracks of that. I mean, I really wanted more diversity in there. I wanted to see these guys really settle into something and maybe get, you know, here's this really fast-paced song, and here's another really fast-paced song, and then all of a sudden you're just up here the whole time. By the time you get to the end of the album, I feel like you know what's coming, and its charm is worn off. You know, that niche sound that they're going for isn't quite as strong, and that's why all 3 of my track picks are in the first 4 songs here, because I think the effect starts to wear off a little after that. And it's not terrible. It's not so severe that this isn't such a severe criticism that it's going to tank the album for me. It's just I noted it. And actually some of the you know, track 9 Toddler is a little bit of an instrumental, and then and then White Electric, you know, the end of the album gets a little darker, a little moodier, but by that time I really feel like they haven't, it's almost like too little too late. Yeah. You know?
I definitely understand what you mean. I mean, this album, it's tough. It's good, but at the same time, it's like
it's limited.
When you have an album that really you can tell the focus is the experimentality of it, then you're gonna have some cool ideas. But like you said, they're going to be restated a lot, and it's going to very much be a track by track album. I mean, you had like experimental stuff. Think about like if you've ever listened to Tego Mago by Can. That's experimental. That was put together by just a bunch of jams that they kind of mashed together and made an album out of. Well, I kind of feel like this is just a bunch of jams, but instead of arranging them into an album, they kind of just took one jam and made it a song, one jam and made it a song, and they didn't
put those together.
Yeah, but they didn't really try to make them flow into something that was larger than the sum of its parts.
And that's how they could have made a really unique album out of it.
Exactly.
Where actually this is just more of a 12-track compilation of really good songs, and it's just slightly held back by the fact of it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is what happens when you bring guys together that are very damn good at their instruments and know what they're doing, but don't necessarily have anything bigger in mind than just kind of being awesome at their instruments.
Right. Overall, Tom, I'm feeling 79.
I'm also going to go 79. I think this is very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable, it's a good album. It's right at the cusp of being very good. It's just, like I said, it's just limited by what it is, and that's what you have to take it for. So, what did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you dislike it? Is this just album just not cutting it for you? Which Battles album do you prefer? Do you prefer Mirrors, or did you prefer this album? And then leave us a comment at www.youtube.com/velocitiesinmusic or velocitiesinmusic.com. We would appreciate that. And also follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, because that's where we get our musical conversation started, and that's where that's kind of the whole point of the site, is just to get a conversation going between the two of us, three of us, four of us about music, and please do that. And also visit vimtv.tumblr.com. That's where our dear friend Ian does his blog, where you see new music, streams, and album reviews, written style. Visit us there, and thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.